All right, welcome back, everyone. Craig and Leah, how are you today?
I'm well, you?
I'm good. Where are we today?
We are at Pizzeria Dolorosa in downtown La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Is this one of your favorite places?
Yeah, I like it a lot. It's nice if you want to get a little slice at work at lunch or
Maybe we'll insert your picture that you took of your food before you started eating. The camera eats first. That's a new term. I didn't know that term.
camera eats first. So today was calzone day, so I had to take the bait.
Yeah, so we're here at the Pizza Dolorosa in La Crosse, downtown La Crosse. There's probably a little traffic in the background. Today we wanted to talk a little bit about um, law school, and I just went back to Michigan for my 20th year law school class reunion. It's crazy how time flies. So I wanted to talk a little bit about my journey to law school, how I got there, what law school is like, and kind of what happens after law school. In case people have questions about that.
Yeah, I
Okay,
have questions.
fire away.
So, where did you go to law school, Craig?
So I went to law school at Ave Maria School of Law, which at the time, this is 20 years ago, was in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And it was a new school, and it was founded and funded by Tom Monahan, who's the founder of Domino's Pizza. And he became very wealthy. At one point, he was a part owner or owner of the Detroit Tigers.
Wow.
So he was billionaire. And when he sold Domino's or cashed in some of his business, he became a philanthropist. And so wanted to invest his money. And one of the causes that were important to him, he's a very conservative Catholic guy. And one of the things that he wanted to do with his money was create both a college and a law school. And he was in Ann Arbor. That's where the headquarters of Domino's was. And that's where he chose to start the law school. So the law school started, I believe, in the year 2000. And law school, for those that don't know, is a 3-year program. And you do law school after college. And so after college, you take the LSAT, or actually during college usually. I took a year off between college and law school, so I took the LSAT. Don't ask me what the acronym stands for. Law school admissions test, probably
Yeah,
something like
yeah,
that.
probably.
So it's a lot. It's kind of like the ACT type thing.
Or GRE for grad school.
Correct. I actually took the GRE because I was going to go to grad school and study philosophy, and I bombed it. It was terrible. Uh, but I didn't study for it, so that was a problem. So this one I kind of studied for, and got
Promise he's a good attorney.
well. What's funny about law school is full of smart people, okay, and people that were typically at the top of their college class, and for whom college was not really a challenge, right? And I went into law school thinking that law school was just going to be college, just a little harder, and it was totally different. I mean, it was harder, but it was a total different way of learning. Um, the lectures is called the Socratic Method, and so the professor will actually make you stand up and answer questions on the spot. There's a movie from the 70s or 60s called The Paper Chase. The Paper Chase is how law school used to be, and it's kind of a horror fest, to be honest with you. We had kind of a flavor of that, but it wasn't too bad. So the school started in 2000, and it's 3 years, and I was the third class. I was the first class in 2002. Yeah, 2000, 2001, and 2002. It was the first class to make it a full law school, where we had 1L, 2L, and 3L. And that's kind of where I started. I had looked at also going to Notre Dame and St. Thomas Law School in the Twin Cities, which is actually how I got considering law school in the first place. And it was a similar school, started I think the same year, and had a lot of money up front, offering good scholarships to students. So that's how I got into law school.
How many times did you eat Domino's during your 3 years of law
A lot. I'm
school?
not a big fan of Domino's now anymore. So anytime we would have a lecture, a guest speaker, might be a judge. We had some court of appeals judge. We had Judge Robert Bork.
Oh,
You ever heard that name, Robert Bork?
maybe.
It's a little old for you probably, but Robert Bork was a nominee to the U.S. Supreme Court. Yeah,
Hmm.
and it was one of the first fire and brimstone, scorched earth nomination hearings. We've kind of gotten used to that. Like you remember the Kavanaugh.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Bork was the first guy that was kind of given that scorched earth approach, and he ended up withdrawing. He was a teacher there, so he taught our ethics class the first year. So it was really cool. There was a lot of neat people there. It was a fledgling school. After I graduated, it has moved to Florida. I haven't been to the Florida campus, but I've heard it's very nice. It's all brand new, but
Yep.
I haven't had a chance to go to Florida yet.
Why did you have your class reunion in Michigan when the school is no longer in Michigan?
Good question. So, there was a lot of controversy when the school moved from Michigan to Florida. One of the most important things that a law school does for its students is get them connected to judges and law firms for clerkships, summer clerkships, and that they can get jobs. The most important metric for law schools is what's their placement rate after law school. And it's especially a challenge for a brand new school.
Right.
Places like Harvard and Yale and all those, they don't have any trouble finding placements for their students. But a new school like this, it's a challenge. And so,
Reputation, history.
exactly. So there was a ton of networking and relationship building that went on with the original school. Most of those happening in Michigan,
Yeah.
where people can, close enough to drive to go to internships and summer jobs. And so a lot of those relationships were built in the Michigan Midwest area, and you can't simply just pick that up and transplant it to Florida, right? It's a whole different legal market down there. And so there was a lot of controversy. A lot of people didn't want to move down there.
Unlike your grandparents, you can't move a law school as easily.
Yeah, I was fine. I don't know. I thought Januaries in Florida sounded much better than Januaries in Michigan, but didn't matter to me. They moved after I graduated. But a lot of my classmates stayed in Michigan in the Detroit area. And so it was just a natural location. It was our first class reunion that I remember. I don't know if anyone ever tried it before.
In 20 years?
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yep. And most of these people I hadn't seen or talked to in 20 years.
Wow.
And so it was a lot of fun. It was a small group, and people are scattered around the country because of the nature of the law school. People came from all over the country, including the world, actually,
Oh, wow.
to study there. So people were spread out, but it was within driving distance for me, so I drove out there and had a wonderful time. It was really good to catch up with people.
Nice.
Yeah.
Anybody doing the same law as you do? Personal injury?
Not too many. There's a lot of the people that I went to school with either became prosecutors or worked for the government. A number of them went into the JAG program, which is the legal department of the military branches. And so there was I'm trying to think if there's anybody in my class that I know of who practices personal injury. I have one classmate that I know of who is in Green Bay, and he does family law. He has started his own firm, but a lot of the lawyers in my class went on to work in government or being prosecution and stuff like that. No.
Was there any specific focus of your law degree?
Not really. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew where I wanted to be. I knew I wanted to come to the La Crosse area. And so you really don't specialize. You don't have to specialize to go to law school. Kind of like college, there's certain core classes that you have to do, and then you get some electives. During my second year of law school, I was a summer law clerk at the firm that I'm with now, that I started in after law school.
Oh.
And that was kind of how I realized I was going to be in private practice. Mostly it was just getting through law school, passing, and then taking the bar exam. One thing that people don't know about is Wisconsin, I think, might be the only state. There might be one other that if you go to law school in the state, you don't have to take the bar exam. So a lot of the lawyers in Wisconsin never had to take the bar exam, and I like to rub it in their face when I get a chance.
Have you taken the bar in the other states that you're licensed to practice in?
So I took the bar exam in Wisconsin, and then because of reciprocity rules, I was able to immediately get admitted in Minnesota. Otherwise, you typically have to wait 5 or 6 years, and that's what I did for Iowa. So I got into Iowa because I had been practicing long enough that I could you have to go through the whole application process. It's kind of a pain, but I didn't have to take the bar exam again. I only had to take it once, so that was really nice.
So you got off easy. One bar exam for 3 licenses? That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, well, one bar exam is plenty. and I was not going to take any chances of failing that. So yeah, so I took the bar exam the summer after law school, passed, and then started practicing right away.
Post graduation, did you move to Wisconsin immediately?
Yes. Yep. The bar exam's in July, so we graduated in May, and I took the bar exam in July. So I think we went to live with my wife's family because we had two small children in law school. So
Wait, they were in law school with you? They were in classes?
we had our first. Well, there. The law school was full of people with kids.
But I'm imagining your children sitting in class with you, taking notes and stuff.
No,
Would
but
you-
I spent a lot of time studying at home with a child on my lap. And in fact, the first year after law school is when you're eligible for law review. I did not have good enough test scores by first year to get onto law review automatically, but there's a writing application, which I did. And I was typing that on my computer in the hospital after my first was born. So our oldest was born literally like a week after my finals, law school exams. And then we had our second child, our daughter, my last year. So, yeah.
So you're saying you weren't the only law student with children? Is that what you were saying?
No, we had plans to wait 3 years, wait till I was out of law school, and then we come there and people got kids all over the place, and we changed our mind, and we had our first one in the first year. So, yeah, he's now 22. So,
Yes.
yeah. So that's kind of my law school journey. And one of the things I learned is once you get a job, once you pass the bar exam, no one really ever cares where you went to law school. No one's ever asked me where I went to law school. I've never had to ask anyone else other than, when you're hiring new students where they went to law school. But it was a great place to go to law school. I met some really good friends, and it was just great to be able to go back and see them again.
Was there anybody you saw at that reunion that you rediscovered a connection with, or anybody you had lost contact with?
Pretty much everyone there. Everyone there was people I hadn't seen in 18 years, probably. I think one of my classmates got married a year or two later that we had gone back.
Yep.
But otherwise, I hadn't seen any of these. Facebook, you see them on Facebook a little bit, but it was great. But what was really interesting is it was almost like it was yesterday. Most of us really hadn't changed that much. Except a little pudgier, a little grayer, but most people were just the same. It was a lot of fun. So
Awesome.
yeah. So that's kind of law school. If people have questions about law school, leave a comment.
Last thing I wanted to ask Craig, do you have any advice to give anyone considering law school or a current law student, even though he went 20 years ago, he might know what he's talking about?
Well, I think definitely get to know some lawyers. I didn't know any lawyers. I had no idea what the practice of law was like, and I had no idea what law school was like. So definitely find some lawyers and get to know them a little bit. Find out what their life is like.
Yep.
I really enjoy practicing law. It's a very good fit for me. I also know people that are kind of miserable practicing law. And so talk to lawyers, find someone, and just see what their life is like and see if that resonates with you. So that's number one. And then number two is it's probably much easier now because the internet has so much more stuff, but I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I wish someone would explain to me how terrifying the first semester is. Just realize that law school is not like college. It's totally different, difficult and different. Realize what you're getting into before you go there so that you're not totally freaked out.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes, thank you.
All right. Well, if people have questions about law school or anything like that, leave a comment. I'll do my best to address it either in another video or in the comments. But yeah, thanks for letting me go back down memory lane and talk about my law school experience.
Yeah. And if there's any Ave Maria grads from 20 years ago or recent,
Yeah.
you can comment and Craig would love to connect with you. I'm sure.
Absolutely. So, well, thank you, Leah. Thank you, Pizza Dolorosa, for letting us sit here.
Yes, and thanks Domino's, I guess, for
I guess.
Craig to law.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much for watching. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.